Today, our discussion will be related to the NCAA KPIs. And in this meeting, we are going to discuss what is KPI and why it is important to assess the KPI every year, and what are the NCAA proposed program KPIs and how to collect the data to assess the KPIs. So these are the important questions that we are going to understand today. And the first thing, what is KPI? KPI is actually used to measure the performance against our business objectives. And if we talk about the higher education, about institution, our department or program, the KPIs are used to understand that our progress towards achieving our goals. Okay, here we are not only going to assess the achievement of our program, because we have a alignment of our program with the department with the college, and college with the institution. And we don't have to confuse ourselves here. The KPIs are not the goals. KPIs are actually the tools that are used to measure the success. Okay, so I will show you that these KPIs that we have to assess, they are aligned with our goals. So if we go at the top level, the Najran University have the vision, and from the vision, the university mission is derived. And then from the university mission, there are strategic objectives. So total, if we see, there are total 12 strategic objectives. Our main objective is to achieve the mission of our university, our institution. So now we will go to check that how the mission of Najran University will be achieved. So from Najran University mission, we have derived the mission of College of Computer Science and Information System. And similarly, there are total 14 colleges under the Najran University, and they also have derived the mission. So achievement of all the colleges' mission will contribute toward the achievement of the mission of Najran University. And our college have 4 goals. We have to check that these goals are achieved or not. If these goals are achieved, so it means the college mission is achieved. So under our college, we have 2 departments, Department of Computer Science and Department of Information System. And both the department have their own mission statement, and both the department have the goals. If we further go in detail, so how the mission of the College of Computer Science will be achieved. So as you can see here, the mission of the Najran University will be achieved from the mission of the colleges, and mission of our college will be achieved by the achievement of the mission of the Department of Computer Science and Department of the Information System. Currently, we have 2 departments, and 3rd department is also approved, but we will start the classes, I hope, next year. So then the mission of that networking department will be also contribution toward the achievement of the mission of our college. If we go now toward the at department level, so department mission of the CS and IS department have will be achieved, and having the goals, and the achievement of the mission of the department is based on the achievement of the program. Currently in CS department and IS department, we have only 1 program at the bachelor level. So we have to check that achievement of the mission of our program. If the achievement of our program mission is achieved, so it means the department mission is achieved. So this is very important to test that how the CS program or IS program mission is achieved or not. So we have two methods. First method is we have the program operational plan. Both the department have the yearly operational plan. So we have to test the achievement of the operational plan. This is one factor. And the second is we have the performance indicators. So we need to check that these performance indicators are achieved or not. In program operational plan, at the end of the year, we need to prepare the report on achievement of the program operational plan. And this operational plan, I think every one of us is involved. All of us, we prepare the operational plan of each unit. So both CS and IS department have 15 units. So combinedly, these units operational plan will become the operational plan of the program. So at the end, we have to prepare the report, how many tasks are achieved and how many tasks are not achieved. As it is decided for regarding the operational plan, the achievement benchmark will be 85%. So if 85% of tasks we have achieved from the operational plan, so it means that we have achieved the mission of our program. And second thing, the achievement of the program performance indicator. In performance indicator, we have two things: PLOs, program learning outcome, and NCAA KPI. So this is our today's discussion about the NCAA KPIs, because this is one of the performance indicator. We have to assess all the KPIs, and this will affect toward the achievement of our program mission. So again, if we make it at abstract level, that the mission of university is depending on the mission achievement of the mission of 14 colleges, and college mission depends on the achievement of the mission of department, and department mission achievement is based on the achievement of the program mission. So we are now at program level, and in program level we have the KPIs. If you see this diagram, in this diagram talk about that we have the mission of the computer science program, and from the mission we have derived 4 program goals. And you can see here that each goal is aligned with the program learning outcome and KPIs. For example, our goal number 1 is aligned with the KPI number 2, 3, 10, and 11. Similarly, goal number 2 is also aligned with the KPI number 4, 7, 9, and so on. So it means if we want to check that goals are achieved or not, we need to assess the KPIs. This is the one of factor to check the achievement of our goal. So that's why this is very important, that we have to assess our KPIs on yearly basis. Similarly, if you see this diagram, in this diagram, this is the mission of information system program. And from the mission, we have derived the goals. We have 4 goals, and there is also alignment for the KPIs and program learning outcome for each goal. So program learning outcome, that is based on the assessment cycle. We have 4-year cycle, and according to the assessment plan, we have to evaluate the program learning outcome, but the KPIs is required to assess every year. Now, NCAA have provided us the program KPIs, and we have 17 KPIs at the program level, which is we have adopted from the NCAA. So performance indicators or KPIs are very important tool for assessing the quality of our academic program. And those people who are working on the KPIs, they can see the KPIs. We are actually testing our program in different sense, in terms of research, in terms of teaching, in terms of student graduation, in terms of facilities and resources. So we are actually checking the performance of the quality of our program. So also if we want to monitor the performance of our academic program, so KPIs plays a vital role. KPIs also contribute toward the continuous development process, and also the results of the KPIs are helpful for the decision making. That's why when we prepare at the end of the academic year annual program report, there is a one section to add the results of the KPIs. So this will be helpful for decision making, because annual program report, that is one of the document that will be discussed in the department council meeting, and it will be approved, and there will be action plan for improvement in that annual program report, which is based on many factors, and one of them is the KPIs. Now, next, we will see that how to measure the KPIs. That is very important for each standard committees. So, academic program measure the key performance indicator with benchmarking. So, we have to define the benchmarking, and we can use the different type of tools. We can use the surveys, we can use the statistical data, we can use different type of tools for different type of KPIs. It depends on the KPI text. So whenever you see the KPIs, we need the 5 things. That is actual performance. What is actual performance? That for each KPIs, we have to collect the data and we have to prepare the results. And that results will be the our actual performance. Okay, for some KPIs, this actual performance is in percentage. For some KPIs, this performance is in ratio, like student to teacher ratio. Okay, for some KPIs, the ratio is like the research, faculty member with the number of publication, faculty member with the number of citation. Okay, so there are different type of actual performance level according to the KPIs. Then the next thing we need to fill, that is target performance level. So this is the target that we have to achieve. This target we have to take from the previous results, last year result. In the KPIs, we will find this section, what was the level that we have to achieve. Then number 3, we have the internal benchmark. Internal benchmark, we have to choose within the college. Okay, so we have decided, suppose if we are going to prepare the KPI analysis report for IS program, so internal benchmark will be the KPI analysis report for CS program, and CS is going to use the IS result as an internal benchmark. Similarly, we have to mention their external benchmark. So external benchmark is outside of the university. So we have also selected some universities in Saudi Arabia that we are going to use as external benchmark. So I will show you in our analysis results. The last thing we need to mention, that is new target performance level. So on the basis of our actual performance, we have to decide what will be our next target. Let's suppose that I say the target was 80%, but the actual performance is at 85%. So it means we achieve the target, and now next our new target will be, maybe it will be 90%. But let's suppose many cases we will find maybe our target is not achieved. So in this case, we have to keep the new target same like the target for the previous year. Okay, so now I will show you some examples. Like in standard 1, we have the KPIs to KPI number 1, the percentage of achieved indicator of program operational plan objectives. So of course, as its name shows, this calculation will be in percentage. So we have the operational plan for each program. So we need to prepare the report. So this report will be our actual data that we have to use to make this KPIs. So if you see this one, this table, everyone have to fill, and you can see here the target benchmark. Target benchmark was 85%. So what is the actual benchmark? This is the report for the last year, August 2020. So actual benchmark, that is in male campus 89.51% and in female 89.51%. This is same in male and female because the operational plan we have only one. This is not divided in male and female. This is one operational plan for one program. So achievement is same for male and female. Then we have the overall. mean we have to add the male and female and divide it by 2. So we have to calculate the overall. So you can see here the internal benchmark. Internal benchmark, we have used here IS program, data collected in April 2020, IS program. So in IS program, the achievement in male, it was 88.92 and in female 88.92. And overall is also 88.92. So this is about actual benchmark and internal benchmark. So for external benchmark, for the standard one, this KPI number 1, we have used the Heil University as an external benchmark. So you can see here, our target was 85%, but our actual is 89.51%. So it means we have achieved the target. Now the new target we have set here 90%. So if the target is achieved, then we can increase our new target benchmark. But if our target is not achieved, so then we will keep the new target benchmark same like the previous target benchmark. So this is the KPI number 1. Similarly, if we see the KPI number 2, which belong to our standard number 3, teaching and learning. So this KPI talk about student evaluation of quality of learning experience in the program. So here we are talking about the quality of learning experience. And if we see the description, the more detail about this KPI, so we are discussing about the average of our rating of final year students. So it means we are not talking about the student, those are in maybe first year, second year, or third year. We are just discussing here about the student who are going to graduate, final year student, for the quality of learning experience in the program on 5-point scale in an annual survey. So the data collection for this KPI will be exit survey, because in exit survey we have the achievement on supportive services, we have learning resources, we have satisfaction rate on assessment of learning, we have achievement rate on learning outcome. So exit survey we need to distribute among the final year students, and we need to take the response from them, and then we have to prepare the report based on the exit survey. So if we see the result of last year for KPI number 2, the target benchmark was 75%. So which is equal to, if we make the equivalence with the 5 level, so it will be 3.75. Okay, so for this example which I am giving, this is in computer science department for last year in May 2020. So in male campus, the results of the exit survey was 69.75%, and in female campus it was 69.26%, and this is the average 69.51%. Similarly, internal benchmark, we have used the IS program, and the results are given here. So external benchmark was chosen Heil University and King Faisal University. So 2 universities are chosen for this KPI. And now you can see here the new target benchmark. So new target benchmark is 75%. So there is no change in target benchmark and new target benchmark. Why there is no change? Because if we see the actual benchmark, that is 69.51%. So it means we did not achieve our target. Target was 75%. But our actual benchmark is 69.51%. So we did not achieve. So that's why we keep the new target benchmark same like the target benchmark. If our target is achieved, then we can increase this new target benchmark. Now we will move to KPI number 3.
Just a quick question, Dr. Mohammed.
Yes.
If you can go back to the previous slide, yes. For the female in the IS department, since we don't have any like graduate yet, and we still in the 8, so it's going to be the same in this case.
Yes, yes. If we did not have any student who are going to graduate, so we have to same, not applicable.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So KPI number 3, that is discuss about the student evaluation of the quality of the courses. So this is talking about the quality of courses. So this is not discussing about the final year student. This can be any student. If we see the description, so description is average students overall rating of the quality of courses on 5-point scale in an annual survey. So on semester basis, we have online course survey. The student, they have to fill, and each course instructor have to download that survey, and this survey will be available in binder 7 of course file. Okay, so if we are going to assess this KPI, so we need to open the binder 7 of each course file, and we need to take that survey, what is the average. Okay, so if we see the last year results, so if for this KPI number 3, the target was 85%, and in the male campus, it was 81.77%, and in female, it was 76.7%. So overall, that is 79.24%, and still we did not achieve our target for last year. Similarly, in IS department used as a benchmark, so results are given. So external benchmark, Haile University and King Faisal University is used. And here you can see the new target benchmark that is decreased. And as I know that if the target is not achieved, so we have to keep that new target benchmark as the same as the target benchmark. So I think there is mistake here. This should be 85%, not 80%, because we are not supposed to decrease our target. We have to on the same level or on the higher level. So this we need to correct. But here, from where we will collect the data, we have to go to the course file in binder 7. So we will find the online course survey for each course. So we need to download for the last 2 semesters, because this KPI analysis is for whole year. So there are 2 semesters. We have to download, we have to prepare the report based on the online survey. Now we will move to the KPI number 4, that is completion rate. So what is completion rate? That is the proportion of undergraduate students who completed the program in minimum time in each cohort. So we know that the minimum time to graduate for one student, it is 4 years. So from where we can collect the data? From program registrar. So we can take the data. For example, I given one example here, that if we are going to prepare the report in 2019-20, so it means we have to go 4 years back. So the students, those who started in 2016-17, they are going to graduate in 2019-20. So we need to take the data from the program registrar. Suppose in male campus in first semester, 13 students were registered, and we checked in 2019-2020, 3 graduated. And in second semester, 2016-17, only 1 student registered, and 19-20, 1 is graduated. So total 14 registered and 4 graduated in minimum time after 4 years in male campus. Similarly, in female campus, 16 registered in both semester, and 15 they are graduated. So here we have calculated the percentage. In male campus, 28.57% they are graduated, and in female campus, 93.85%. So average is 61.19%. And this KPI, it is very easy to calculate, that just to take the data from the program registrar and make the table like this and prepare the report. If we see the results of last year, the target was 75%, but you can see here the overall achievement 61.19%. So it means still we did not achieve our target, and the new target benchmark we did not change, that is 75%. Okay, so as I explained that internal benchmark, if we are preparing for computer science, internal benchmark will be IS program. For IS, computer science will be the internal benchmark. So external benchmark, this is decided by the quality unit, Higher University and King Faisal University. So we can also compare with the Higher University. Suppose here our actual benchmark, that is 61.19%, but in Higher University it is only 23%. So we are better than Higher University. Similarly, in King Faisal University, that is 47.4%, and we are at 61.19. So we are still better than the King Faisal University. So now we will move to the KPI number 5, that first year student retention rate. That this is actually we have to calculate the percentage. The results will be in percentage of first year undergraduate student who continue at the program next year to the total number of first year student in the same year, because sometimes it is possible that student register in first year and second year he did not continue the course and he changed the college. So we need to calculate this also. For example, here the result shows that number of students joined in the first and second year of 2019-20. So there was 69 students, they join in male campus, and 83 students, they join in female campus. So first year undergraduate student who continue at the program the next year. So when we check the data, that 61 students, they join in second year from male and 76 in the female. So the percentage of retention rate, that is 88.4% in male and in 91.6% in female college. So this is the example that how we can calculate the retention rate. And if we see the results for last year KPIs, so we can see here that our target was 60%, but our achievement for the last year, it was 90% in CS department and 87.46% in IS department. And so that's why this target is achieved 60%. So new target benchmark, this is decided 90%. So again here, there is a huge difference between 60 and 90. So we need to rethink about this KPI, because okay, our achievement is 90%. So maybe next year our actual benchmark will be decreased. So we have to make the new target benchmark in some order. Let's suppose if this is 60% target, so next year we can make it 70%. Not we have a high jump. So this is also not recommended, because maybe next year our performance comes down. So it means at that time we will be not able to achieve 90%. So this is one thing we have to keep in mind. So KPI number 6, that is talk about the student performance in the professional and our national examination. So we did not have professional or national examination, so we are not taking the data to assess this KPI. So far our program, this KPI is not applicable. We will go to number 7. Number 7 is talk about the graduate employability and enrollment in postgraduate program. So there are two things we have to calculate here, that how many students they are employed after graduation and how many students they are registered in the postgraduate program. For example, again, I have given one example. Let's suppose in male campus, total number of graduate was 8, and we suppose that 3 of them are employed, they started the job, and 1 of them went for the postgraduate program. So percentage of employability, that is 37.5%, and percentage of postgraduate program, that is 12.5%. Similarly, in female campus, we can see some results here. So we have to calculate this. So from where we can get this data, we have alumni and employment affair unit. So the information about the student, how many students they are offered the job, they are doing job, and how many students they are enrolled in master program can be collected from them. This is the results for the last year. As we can see here that for A is our employment. 30% is our target, that our student who are graduated, they are employed, they get the job, and 10% they started the postgraduate program. So these are the results for the male campus for A and B for employment and postgraduate program. So overall shows that 22.5% student they are employed, and 6.5% they are registered in the postgraduate program. So we can see here our target was 30% for employment, and our target was 10%, and we did not achieve the target. So we will keep the new target as it is. Okay, so now we will move to number 8. That is also related to our standard number 3. That is average number of students in the class. This is also very easy to calculate the average number of students in the class. So data we can collect from the program registrar. So this is one example. Let's suppose these are our courses, and we can take the data from the program registrar that how many students are registered. Okay, so then we have, suppose in male campus, the number of students we have total, suppose 144, and number of courses we have 13. So average we get here 11.08. So it's also very easy to calculate the average number of students in the class. So we can see here the last year results for this KPI, and it shows that our target benchmark was 12, but overall actual also that is 12. So it means we achieve the target, and now the new target benchmark we set, that is 15. Also we have mentioned here the internal benchmark for the IS program and Haiel University and King Faisal University as the external benchmark. We will move to KPI number 9, and KPI number 9 is discussing about employer evaluation of the program graduate proficiency. So from where this data we can get this data from employer survey, because employer survey contain all the information that how many our proficiency of our graduates. The last year results, if we see of this survey, that target was 85%. They are strongly agree or agree. Mean the survey, of course, it is based on some scale: strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. So our target was 85%, and our actual benchmark, that is 88%. So it means we have successfully achieved our target. Now the new target benchmark, it is set at 90%. So this we have to conduct the employer survey, and on the base of this we have to prepare the report, and we will get the target actual benchmark, and we can set the new target benchmark based on our actual benchmark. Number 10, that is related to our standard number 4, and standard 4 have only one KPI, that is student satisfaction with the offered services. So which type of services? That is, if we go in detail, that is restaurants, our transportation, support facilities, academic advising. So there are many things that will be covered. So we need to conduct a survey. So we have different type of survey already. We have the current student survey, we have exit survey, we have alumni survey, we have academic advising survey. So we can take the data from these surveys, and we can prepare the report about these KPIs. So if we see the last year report, in last year that our target was 70%, that is equal to 3.5 on 5-point scale. So our actual achievement for the computer science program, it was 81.5%. So we can see here we achieve our target, and if we see the IS program, that is 81%. So similarly, this is achieve the target benchmark, and the new target that is set here, that is 85%. Okay, so it depends that how much new target you are going to fix based on your actual performance. Now, if we see about the KPI number 11, the ratio of student to teaching staff, that is also very easy to calculate. That is related to standard number 5, students. So ratio of total number of students to the total number of full-time and full-time equivalent teaching staff. So from where we can collect this data, we have one unit that is called statistics and data unit. We have faculty affair unit, and we have the program registrar. So we can contact with these units and we can get the data about how many teaching staff we have, how many total number of students we have. So it's very easy to calculate that how many student and teacher ratio. Here, as I said, our target is not only the percentage or some number, it can be some ratio. So for example, here it is written 1:20. So it means for one faculty member, there will be 20 students. This is our target. But if we see actual result in male campus, that is here 1:6, mean one faculty member have only 6 students. Okay, so for female also, for one faculty member we have 15 students. So if we make the average, so average will be one faculty member have 10 students. So it means successfully we achieve that. Our target was one faculty member have 20, but actual result shows that one faculty member have only 10 students. So target is achieved. And we have for internal benchmark for IS program in male campus, one faculty member have only 4 students, and female also. So average is also successfully achieved. But if we see the Hale University, in Hale University, their actual performance is that one faculty member have 20. So it means we are far better than in student to teacher ratio. In King Faisal University also, one faculty member is having 12 students. So we are still better than the King Faisal University. So after when we have seen this target benchmark, so we keep the new target benchmark as it is, because the student to teacher ratio, there is some standard. Okay, so we have to also follow the standard values that how many students will be assigned to one faculty member. So this is the KPI analysis for KPI number 11. Similarly, in KPI number 12, that is percentage of teaching staff distribution. So this is the not student and teacher ratio. This is distribution of teaching staff in term of gender, in term of branches, in term of academic ranking. So we know that we have 2 branches, male and female, and academic ranking like professor, associate professor, assistant professor, lecturer, and teaching assistant. So for example, let's suppose we have professor in male campus, and in female campus we did not have any professor. So it means this is percentage is 0. So we have associate professor also, 2 in male campus. Okay, there is no in female campus. We have assistant professors, we have lecturer. So we need to collect this data. So from where we can collect this data? Again, we have statistics and data unit, and we have faculty affair unit. So we can collect the data for computer science program and for information system program, how many faculty member we have in male, how many we have in female, and what is their ranking. Okay, in term of professor, associate professor, assistant, and lecturer. So if we see the result of last year KPI analysis, so target was that we should have 70% PhD holder and 30% non-PhD holder. So whenever we talk about the PhD holder, it covers assistant, associate, and professor. But if we see the results for last year in male campus, we was having 67% PhD holders. Okay, here again, we are just considering the PhD degree. We are not considering here the rank. Okay, so if someone have PhD, so we consider that he is going to fulfill our target. In female campus, that we was having only 13%. So, but if we calculate the overall, that is 40%. So it means we did not achieve the target. So if we did not achieve the target, then we have to keep the new target benchmark as it is. Okay. So on the basis of this result, one very important thing, we need to make write the strengths, weakness, and priorities for improvement. If we see here, let's suppose this result, our target was 70%, but in male campus, if we see, that is close to target, 67%. But if we see in the female campus, that is only 13%. So it means we are far behind our target. So whenever we are going to write our priorities for improvement, so we need to focus in this point that we need to have more PhD degree holders in female campus. Okay, so now we will move to our KPI number 3, and KPI number 3, that is talking about proportion of teaching staff leaving the program. That we have seen sometime the teaching staff, they are leaving the college due to some reason, maybe going for the higher education, for some other reason, for some family reason, so they are going to leave. So we also have to calculate this, that how many teaching staff they leave. So from where we can get the data, again we can get the data from statistics and data unit, and we have faculty affair unit in each department. So we can go them and we can take the information from them. For example, let's suppose in male campus, total number of teaching staff in CS program was 15, and number of staff leaving the program in this year, okay, only 2. So percentage, if we calculate 13.3% teaching staff, they leave the program this year. And similarly in female, we have 15 and 3 of them. This is just example. Okay, maybe not the actual data, and it means this is 20% they leave. So overall, if we calculate that 16.67% teaching staff, they left the program due to some reasons. And if we see the results of last year, that our target was that it should be the faculty member leave, this should be less than equal to 10%. Okay, so when we have calculated for the last year, it was 7%. So it means this is still less than 10%. So it means we achieved the target. And if we see the in female, IS department, the teaching staff leaving, that is 10%. Okay, so still in IS department, they achieved the target, and we have now the new target benchmark, that is less than equal to 5%. Okay, so when we achieve the target, our actual benchmark, so we can then increase our new target benchmark. Now, if we go and see the KPI number 14, and KPI number 14, that is discussing about the percentage of publication for faculty members. So now we move toward the research side. So if we see the description, that percentage of faculty members who published at least one research paper, okay, during the year from the total faculty member in the program. So here is one example I have given, that total number of full-time faculty member in the program, we was having 15, and total number of full-time faculty member in the program who have at least published one research in the 1 year, so it is 10. So the percentage we have calculated, that is 66.67% people, they published minimum one paper in the last academic year. Similarly in female, we can see here 15 and only 2 published at least one paper, and this is 13%. Okay, so if we go and see the result of last year, in last year our target was that 40% teaching staff should publish minimum one paper in in academic year. So we can see here that 66.67% in male they have achieved, and in female only 13%. So again, whenever we are going to write the strength, weakness, and priorities of improvement, so we have to consider these points. So how we can improve this publication rate. So we have overall that is 40%. Similarly, in IS department, if we see the results are better than CS in male campus 71.4% and in female campus 66.67%, and overall that is 70%. So in both departments, we can see that target is achieved, but the problem is in CS female because they are very less, 13%. So we have to think about this, how we can improve this. So new target benchmark that is set, that is 50%. The faculty member should publish one paper during the one academic year. Now we are going to discuss about the KPI number 15, and KPI number 15 is the rate of published research per faculty member. So again, from where we can get this data? We can get this data from research and graduate studies unit. Okay, so we can see here that we was having total 15 faculty member and total number of published research that is 30. So this is the ratio we have to calculate. So 15 faculty member, they publish 30 research paper in one academic year. So it means one faculty member published 2 paper in 1 year. Okay, similarly in female, we can see here from 15 faculty member, there is only 6 research publications. So ratio is 5:2, mean 5 faculty members published only 2 papers. Okay, so combinedly for male and female campus, we can see here 30 faculty member, they published 36 papers. So if we calculate the average, so it means 1 into 1. One faculty member published 1 paper. If we make it rounding, but actually this is 1.2. One faculty member published 1.2 research paper. So last year results was that target was that 2 into 1, mean one faculty member must publish 2 research paper in one academic year, and our achievement is one faculty member published only 1.2 paper in 1 year. So it means our target is not achieved. Okay, so we are behind the target, but in IS department, we can see that overall results are achieved. One faculty member published 2 paper, but again, if we see the female campus 1 to 1, so we need to look on this issue that how we can improve. So target is not achieved in computer science. So that's why the new target is same as the target benchmark. So we did not change it. After that, we have KPI number 16. KPI number 16 was discussing about citation rate in the referred journal per faculty member. So this is also data we can collect from research and graduate studies and survey. So we can also make one survey. We can take the information from each faculty member in male and female campus, how many citation. Okay, so we can use also Google Scholar to get the number of citation. For example, in male campus, we say 15 faculty member and they publish 30 papers in 1 year, and number of citation that are 172. So this is the data we need to calculate. So from 15 faculty member, the 172 citation, and if we calculate the average, so from one faculty member in 1 year, the number of citation are 11.47 in male campus. Similarly, in female, we can see from one faculty member 2 citation. So overall, if we calculate from male and female campus, 30 faculty members, they get 202 citations. So average, if we see one faculty member have 6.73 citation in one academic year. And if we see the result for the last year, and last year our target was that one faculty member must have 4 citation in one academic year, and overall it shows that one faculty member have 5.7 citations. So it means the target is achieved. So when the target is achieved, so then we can increase the new target benchmark. Now, before it was one faculty member have 4 citation, but now it is having one faculty member 6 citation. Okay, so we will move to our last KPI, that is number 17. So here it is written 16, but it is actually 17. Okay, so what is KPI number 17? 17 is satisfaction of beneficiaries with the learning resources, and this KPI belongs to our standard 6. Standard 6 also having only one KPI, satisfaction of beneficiaries with the learning resources. So what are the learning resources? We have different type of references, journal, database. Okay, so whatever related to the resources, so we have to test here with the annual survey. So data will be collected from the survey, and survey, all the surveys which I am talking here, it is available in the evidences. So I will give you the link, and from the link, each standard members, they can download the evidences. So last year result, if we see for the KPI number 17, that is our target was 70% student should be strongly agree with the learning resources. So if we see the result is 55.89%. So which shows that we did not achieve the target in computer science program. Also, if we see the IS program, their achievement is 54.04%. So it shows that target is not achieved. So we will keep our actual target benchmark, okay, as it is. So this was our KPI number 17. I forget to add here, there is one KPI for standard 2, that is extra KPI, which is not provided by the NCAAA. So why we added this extra KPI? Because NCAAA required that program must have minimum 17 KPIs, but in our program, KPI number 6 is not applicable. So we removed that KPI and we added one KPI in standard 2. Okay, so if anyone want the evidence for CS program and NCAAA standard, so there is a link. All the evidence for standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it is available in this link. And for evidence for IS program, so I make here mistake, this is IS program. So IS program and NCAAA standard, all the evidence, they are also available in the given link. So this is just brief introduction about our NCAAA KPIs and from where we can get the data. So if you need more information about this, so you are welcome anytime, you can contact me. So inshallah, I will try my best to explain you in more detail. So thank you very much. And if you have any question, so you are welcome.
First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Muhammad for his informative presentation. Please, guys, if you have any question, go ahead.
Jazakallah khair, Akram. Thank you very much. Akram, I have one question related to the standard 5 KPI related to citation. And yes. I think in this KPI, the citation count is strictly to a person. Publications, we can say that, for example, if we go on standard number 5, okay? So for example, we say that we have 10 publications and we have a faculty member. Publication can be joint. There is no problem. But I think the citations, we should not calculate this number as accumulative by the whole faculty members. Because this way, I don't know how to modify this KPI, but the citation is related to the personal rather than being in the group, and we calculate the average KPI for the entire male and female section. What do you say about it?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Asad. If we see the description of this KPI number 16, they are discussing about the average number of citation in referred journal from published research per faculty member. So at the end, we need to calculate the average. Okay, so it is written in description. So we have to
but
calculate the
Akram,
average.
there right now we are not giving any statistics for the per faculty member. We are just calculating the average.
Yes, average. We have to give the average because in the results, we suppose if we have 15 faculty member, so in the actual benchmark, we will not put for each faculty member. We have to just put the average. Okay.
Yes, Akram, but my concern is that publications is okay because the publications we have more people in it, but the citations belong to the individual. It means that by calculating the average, the citations also going to those person who actually don't have it.
Yes, that is true. But according to the description, and if we see also, if you see the Hile University, they also have done the same. We tried to get that from King Faisal, but it was not available. So for some other university also we have seen, they also have calculated average, not for the individual.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Thank you so
have
much.
to then carry on like this because here we are not allowed to put long list. Suppose 15 faculty members, so 15 columns if we make. So we have to put the average only.
Yes, Akram. Actually, the thing is that you're right. I agree with you. But in this way, the only concern is that the faculty members, by the average, this number will reduce because the citations are very important and they belong to the research profile. And this way, what is happening that this number will be, this target will be difficultly achieved because of as the number of the faculty members will increase and there are only few faculty members who are getting the citations. So this KPI will be get affected with the passage of time.
Yes. You know, that's why we need to write the strengths, weakness, and priorities for improvement. As if we say that only 4 or 5 faculty members, they are getting more citation and other are not getting. So it means they are not doing research. So we need to make the plan because as I said, this KPI analysis is also helpful for decision making. In annual program report, this annual program report and these KPI analysis reports, they will be approved from the department council and they will see the results and they will make the improvement plan. We need to put the improvement plan in annual program report. So that's over there. We have to address this issue that only few faculty members, they are having more citation and others they did not have. And due to this, the KPI is going to affect.
Strongly agreed. And thank you very much for explanation, Akram. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Asadullah and Dr. Akram for your discussion. Is there any question? Okay. If there is no question, then thank you, Dr. Akram, for this informative presentation. And please, if you can email me this PowerPoint so I can distribute it among the department. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the people who attend for today workshop. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Mana, and thank you everyone for attending this workshop. And if you have any questions, you can contact me anytime. So I will send you this PowerPoint slides.
Thank you, Akram, for your nice presentation. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair.